Hey, call me Shape. And today I'm reacting to a video titled, Single Mom Says Housewives Are Slaves. Let's get right into it.
I have a 10-year-old daughter, and she's growing up watching me in a completely different way than I watched my mom growing up, where she completely sacrificed everything for us. She went to every single game and did PTA, and she had no time for herself, no time to work out, no time to be healthy. And so I felt like that gave me a really negative picture of what like a stay-at-home traditional mom wife is, like way too self-sacrificing. And she did take it to the extreme. But I would much rather have my daughter doing like me, where she's, finding her way and she's helping other women through working and, like trying to make a better world for women versus just trying to, raise a family, which is a high calling, but it just feels like a very, like pigeonholed mission.
No, it's actually a very honorable mission. The fact that you want to sacrifice your daughter on the altar of feminism to help other women is insane. What all the women that are not your family are the priority over your family? And you feel like that's being selfless? No, it's being selfish. Because you're honoring yourself, you're glorifying yourself, you're exalting yourself as a goddess. You think you're above God. And it's crazy that women like this are going to sacrifice her family for that? Yo, this is going to be good. Hey, listen up, Shape Squad. Are you tired of being ignored by women? Well, download my free ebook, Be Attractive and Shut Up. It's going to teach you how to master attraction, build unshakable confidence, and win with women without words. Because chances are you're not ugly, you just talk too damn much. So download my free ebook, Be Attractive and Shut Up, and take control of your dating life right now. Now let's get right back to the content.
Did you see your mom, like, in any way upset about the choice that she made or suffer from the choices that she made, or did she seem happy doing those things even if you saw it in a different light?
She was really happy to be a mom, super happy. But I think she also sacrificed a lot for my dad, and that took a lot out of her. Like, she was also his caretaker. And for me, being a caretaker for like a grown man, that was the opposite of what I wanted to do. And I think even now, currently I'm like, oh, I cannot be a caretaker for a grown man.
But it was her husband.
It was her husband, but it felt like her fifth child.
Oh, okay, thank you.
I would like my daughter to know that whatever path she chooses, if she wants to be a wife and mother and make that her priority, or if she wants to be a boss babe and make that her priority, I would like her to know that those are equally important, and actually being a wife and mother is more important because you're raising the next generation. But I think in society we're told that our roles are not as important as your roles. So I would just like her to know that, like, it's okay to want to be a wife and mother and just do that and not have a career.
I totally understand why you say in society it's made to seem like being a boss babe is more important than being a stay-at-home mom, at least in some aspects of Western society now. Like, that's the zeitgeist. But it's interesting because when I was growing up in the 90s, it was like the opposite. And it was like, you need to find love and a man's gonna save you. I mean, look at the movies that we watch, right, as kids. And so and there's also, I feel like, a lot of people cosplaying as boss babes. Like, my definition of what it means to be a boss babe is probably different than most, and I'll share that later at some point probably. But I do think that for me personally, I would want my daughter to find herself instead of be looking for love like I was when I was younger, because I feel like now who I am, I know who I am, so I can find a better partner,
Thank you.
Actually, you don't know who you are, and that's the problem. You don't know who you are. Women think finding themselves is sleeping around, getting a corporate job, climbing the ladder, chasing after pleasure. No, you're led by pleasure. That's not how you find yourself. You find yourself by being led by faith. Right? And I hate to bring up religion, as people say. It's not really religion. It's understanding our origin. I hate to bring that up, but the reality of it is a lot of women are going to choose one or the other. They're going to choose either feminism or God. You decide what you want your woman to be like. So on the left side here, we have women who are boss babes, and they're having a discussion with women on the right who are trad wives. And this is an interesting show by Dr. Daft Show. I'm going to put the link into the description. After you guys watch this video, you can go watch the entire video. We're only going to respond and react to part of it. But I think it's so fascinating to listen to the deficiency of the ability for women to think for themselves. Look, being a free thinker doesn't mean that you have to think exactly one-to-one like you believe the world wants you to think. Like, okay, let me take a step back. Being a smart person doesn't mean you think in such a way that's progressive, that's common, that's modern. A lot of the women on the left, the boss babes, they think just like society. Everything the lady said, who was very attractive in a yellow dress, she said word for word, like the complete feminist ideology, like completely. And a lot of these women can't think for themselves. They're either raised in an environment where they see this, or they're raised in an environment where they see something else. The women on the right looks like they're raised in an environment where they grew up around traditional wives, so they respect it. The woman on the left, they clearly was influenced a lot by feminism. Even the one girl who grew up seeing her mom be a wife, she thought to herself that she was a slave to her father. So she clearly resents her father, which turned her into a single mom. And now she's a boss babe. She got a 10-year-old, and she wants to be a boss babe. It's just so sad to see. Like, she's wasting her beauty on a lie. Okay? God already ordained what women have to do. It's built into your biology. You know, and just because we have tampons and just because we have pads doesn't mean that you're no longer a woman who has to worry about the fact that every month you're reminded that you're supposed to conceive. Every month. Every month you don't conceive, blood comes out between your legs, okay? And just because you're in the workforce because of tampons and pads doesn't mean that you're above your biology. And I think a lot of boss babes think they're above their biology. Really, they feel like they're put here to make money and compete with men. It's ridiculous.
For the trad wives, how do you view women who intentionally choose to stay single or child-free intentionally?
For me personally, I've never looked down, or I've never wanted to shame anyone who lives differently than me, but I kind of see it like a story and like a really important chapter in a story that can help you kind of find who you really are and give a lot of just value to your life. I think being married, being a mom is just like an important chapter. And so for a lot of people to skip reading that chapter, I just would encourage them to try to read that chapter because it might contribute a lot more than you think to your entire life. But I've never thought of them as like any less at all or judge them or wanted them to feel bad because I've known a lot of women who are like amazing women who are boss babes who don't have children and they don't want them. But I would just, like I said, I just feel like there's something that they're missing out on.
Do you ever feel the opposite? Like maybe you might feel a little envious of them because they can just go to the gym and do what they want and go where they want whenever they want. Let's say you were having a conversation with a cousin at Thanksgiving and she's like, oh, that's why I don't have kids. See, I can do this and that. Do you ever feel like, wow, that's kind of nice too?
There's like little moments where I'm like, it would be nice to have a little more quiet time, but that's about it. I've never truly felt like I wish I had the other lifestyle.
When I was working full-time, I could do way less than what I do now. Now, I mean, and I don't have kids, so I can't speak on that aspect, but being a wife, I can go to the gym at 9 a.m. Like I can go grab a coffee after. I can kind of control my day, whereas when I had a full-time job, I couldn't do those things. So to me right now, this life gives me more freedom.
Did you ever feel bored like doing that? Because I did that at one point and I was starting to feel bored.
I did too.
I just immerse myself in hobbies, honestly, which has been so amazing because I picked back up sign language, which I learned in high school, so I've been able to pick that up. I make most of my food from scratch. The house is always clean, which is nice, which will change probably when I have kids, but I've just really picked up hobbies and honestly just focusing on taking care of my husband and our home.
So ladies, how do you define yourself as a boss babe? Like, what does that mean to you? I know, Sarah, you talked a little bit about how your definition might be different than someone else's. So I do want to hear from you in terms of...
For sure, I'll keep it pretty short so other folks can share it. I want to hear what they have to say too. Like yourself, I don't knock anyone for having an opposite choice. For me, being a boss babe means I don't think that it's a matter of like showing all the stuff that you have and it's glamorous all the time. Like, yes, I work hard, so I like to feel good, I like to treat myself, but all of that is part of the system and the mechanism to keep me growing, to keep me developing. A real entrepreneur, male or female, you might go broke. making sure everything gets done. You might be the first one there and the last one to leave, you know? And so I think that when I said like people cosplay being a boss babe, and I also think sometimes there is this like unhidden thing, especially with social media, like it's like implied to make other people feel bad about if they have a different choice. And I'm just not on that kind of time. I think that for me, I was like yourself in a situation where I had everything paid for and I personally wasn't happy. You know, that was my situation. Great partner, but I wasn't fulfilled. I wasn't pursuing what I wanted to do. And so I think for me in particular, what makes me a boss babe is that I chose to leave that. I didn't take anything because that person's amazing, didn't feel the need to, and I set out on my own path. And now I'm doing impactful work that makes the world better and makes me happy. And so I think being a servant to others and not doing it for flash or show, that is just a side effect. I think that that's what makes me a boss babe.
She's an idiot. I hate to say it, but she's an idiot. It's so funny, we listen to women talk about self-sabotaging themselves. Oh, I had a partner. They were great. Nothing was wrong with them. I was bored. I wasn't fulfilled. I need to do something that made me happy. Baby girl, what makes you happy was sold to you. It was sold to you what makes you happy. You bought into the feminist lie. It's not a free thought. It's not an original thought. When I hear people say this, it just aggravates me because y'all don't even understand what's going on. I went to school for marketing, so therefore I don't fall for the marketing. A lot of what we see on television, a lot of what we hear and what's going on, marketers are behind closed doors trying to come up with ways to sell us stuff. Right? And I don't want to get too deep into that, but my point being is these women had perfectly fine partners, but they sacrificed their family on the altar of their happiness. You know why? Because they're heathens. Hedonism. See, a lot of people think they're not religious, but hedonism is a religion. It's a religion where you believe the highest good of all goods is pleasure. That your own pleasure is more important than anything else. That everything else comes second to your own pleasure. Think about that, right? We live in a world where women want to put themselves first above everyone else. Not understanding that for you to have the clothes, for you to have the buildings, for everything that you have in this world was given to you. You were inherited from other people who sacrificed for other people. How many people built their homes? How many people built every article of clothing that they have? How many people go fetch their own water? How many people generate their own heat or electricity? Nobody. There are people out working tirelessly, many hours to provide a service that benefits more people than themselves, to turn around and have ungrateful people like feminists make the world about themselves. You have the privilege. Being a boss babe is a privilege given to you by selfless people. You know what I'm saying? Like, these are people who worship white collar over blue collar, and that's what's crazy about it. In order to be white collar, you need to have someone being blue collar. But the feminists don't understand that. They think everything just exists. Tap water, running water just exists. Electricity just exists. Oh, I pay for it. You can have all the money in the world. Unless someone's providing their service, you'll have nothing to pay for. It's incredible. It's incredible. And this is why men and women are very different. And this is why you should never let a woman usurp authority over you, because she's going to put pleasure above everything else. If a woman has authority over you, she's going to lead you by her own personal pleasure. Where a man, when he leads his family, he's going to lead his family by what's right. This is how men naturally are. That's how women naturally are. They think about themselves. Men, they think about everybody else. Men will sacrifice his happiness for his family. Women will sacrifice their family for their happiness. Incredible. And we're seeing people talk about it in real time. Ladies, this is not me making up the agenda. This is not me making this stuff up. I'm reacting to what you could see right here on your screen. Misandry is more common than misogyny. The fact that women hate men, that is way more common. And then they love themselves, and the thought of serving a man. Oh my God, if you serve your husband, he's like your fourth child. He's not a husband, he's your fourth child. Well, who's going to take care of you when you need help? When you're sick, when you're in the bed? See, a lot of these people, they'll really learn life when it's too late. When they can no longer do for themselves. God forbid something happens to themselves where they have to depend on everybody else. That's when they'll really appreciate life. You know what? they'll realize how very little people care about you. And if you didn't invest in people, the worse it is. Like for any of these women to end up in a senior citizen home, that's when it's going to really hit them. It's going to really, make sure you do stuff for women and the better for women. Let's see what women care about you in a senior citizen home. Unbelievable.
Yeah. I think a boss babe is building things for other people. I'm really interested in helping women. We've had so many companies built by men for hundreds of years, but women need to build things to serve other women. And so that's why I feel like I work, because I have had the opportunity and have been a trad wife. And I was like, I could do this forever, but I feel like there's companies that need to be made. I also feel like education is really important. Like women need to be really educated. And I also feel like being a boss babe for me is just being able to make decisions for my own financial future, with like investing, real estate, things like that, which I've been able to now do on my own. And I previously thought that I had to do that with a partner. I never thought I could afford to do those things on my own. And it doesn't mean being flashy or like showing up in a G-Wagon, because I do not drive a G-Wagon. It's more about just building a solid future, whether I'm in a partnership or not.
Thank you. What about you, Ann?
They said so many things that I also relate to and agree with. I think for me, the boss babe piece that I resonate with the most is, like you said, entrepreneurship and self-sufficiency, not necessarily independence, because I know I can't do everything by myself, and nor do I want to. I'm also in a new space where I am asking for help and I am like relying on other people as well, which is also important. So it's not doing everything yourself, but I do agree that it's also creating doors, opportunities for other people, whether it be our family, our friends, our future generations of women or men that come through our bloodline. And I also want to add that it's also about like self-fulfillment and like the prophecy of your own life, you know, like what you are called to do, what you are meant to, you know, leave on the earth before we leave. I think that's also a part of being a boss babe, just contributing more to the ecosystem of humanity.
Thank you. So we talked a little bit with the wives about their role, but how do you see that? Do you believe that women who prioritize marriage and motherhood are limiting themselves as you talk about wanting to contribute to the world and fulfill your purpose in this way where you're opening doors? Do you feel like these, not them, but women who choose this lifestyle are limiting themselves?
I don't think that choosing to be a trad wife is limiting yourself, as long as you have an out, right? Like as long as you know that if this marriage failed, which is a 50% chance, then you would still have an education or maybe some type of work experience or some type of, maybe you turn your hobby into something that you can make money off of one day. Like I remember when I was a stay-at-home mom, I was like, okay, well we have this guest house, I'll do Airbnb and I'll like sell things on eBay. Like I always made sure that I had my own on the side. So, I mean, I think do whatever you want to do in your relationships, but just don't become completely financially dependent on someone. There's a 50% chance it could end. And even like me, who had everything on the outset, living in Malibu, whatever, when I chose to leave the relationship, all my credit cards were cut off. So, yeah.
Because she wanted him to provide after she decided to leave. Imagine now, oh yeah, when I decided to leave, all my credit cards are cut off. Duh! You can't make this up. You can't make this up. Where do I start? All the nonsense that she said. Oh, let's start with the fact that she said, women need to build business because men have been building businesses for hundreds of years. And, women need to start doing it. Why do you need to compete with men? I don't hear any men saying, well, women been giving birth since the beginning of time. It's time for men to give birth now. Stop envying men. We have skills that you don't have. We have abilities you don't have. Respect that. You have an ability we don't have, and we respect that. But again, women want to believe anything a man can do, I can do better. Anything a man can do, I can do too. No, you can't. The feminist lie is that the reason why women have their place in life is because of the patriarchy. That men have just arbitrarily oppressed women. this entire time. So now women are rising up and breaking through the patriarchy, and now they're going to build businesses. I mean, guess who they're going to build it for? Women. Right? This is genderism. This genderism. That your gender is the most important thing about you. You need to fight for your gender, sacrifice your life for your gender. This lady was a stay-at-home wife in Malibu with a guest house. And she decided to leave. This is the cancer of feminism. Feminism is going to tell you to leave your family, leave your husband, you're a stay-at-home mom. Only 1 out of 4 women are stay-at-home moms. She's one of them living the high life with a guest house. And you know what she wanted to do? Go out and create a business. And she's talking about education. Baby, you're not educated. You're indoctrinated. You're an idiot. You're one of the dumbest women I've ever seen in my entire life. I have never seen a woman so stupid in my life before. You had everything all these women are fighting for just to throw it away and be a single mom like everybody else. To join everybody else because you believed a lie. Guys, the lie is so contagious. A lie is so contagious. It destroys everything. But you know what? It has to hide from the truth. A lie can't hold a candle to the truth. God is the truth. God is the truth. He cannot lie. The devil will always lie, and women will always fall for the lie. The first lie a woman ever believed is that if you eat from the fruit that God forbade you from, you will become like God. And it did not happen. And he punished women, and now here we are. Women are still choosing the fruit that the devil told them to. Ladies, please, I'm begging you. If you think it's so smart, I want you to read this book. 2 words, the Holy Bible. I hate to say this because so many people are so against the idea of understanding that the fear of the Lord is the beginning of all wisdom. You cannot become smart without fearing God. I believe that Proverbs 9:10. I strongly believe it, and I put it in my bio for YouTube. I believe it, okay? It is arrogance to believe that you are smarter, wiser, anything above your creator. You are not. And if you don't think we're created, if you believe in evolution and all that nonsense, well, I'll ask you this. Evolution was written by someone who came up, the theory of evolution came up with somebody who wasn't a scientist. The Big Bang Theory was came up by somebody who, most people don't even know who came up with the Big Bang Theory. The Big Bang Theory came up with someone, by the way, it's less than 100 years old. Came up in 1940s by a guy by the name of Fred Hoyle. When he was 25 years old, he came up with the Big Bang Theory. And we accept that blindly over the origin of our lives from God. Jesus Christ, who rose from the dead, his death, burial, and resurrection. We didn't want to believe that, but we believe a guy from 100 years ago who came up with the Big Bang Theory. The Big Bang Theory, evolution created by 2 different people. We believe them both as if they came to us together. And this is the lie. Unbelievable. I don't know what else to say. Get help, seek faith. You need Jesus. Okay? Like the video, subscribe to the channel. Channel blowing up. I appreciate you guys. Check out some of my other videos. And I'll see y'all over there.